From dragons to a debilitating injury to getting a little bit more happy. Here are some books that I want to tell you about that use reinventioning. My name is Amelia Sims and I'm going through a reinventioning process. That means I'm transforming myself and you're coming along with me on this journey and I appreciate you. I post twice a week on Tuesdays and Sundays and I'm glad you're here. If you would, please share this video with somebody you know that may be interested in transforming their own life and making some major changes, or maybe you're interested in reinventing your own life as well. Anytime I see a book about reinventing or transforming yourself, I'm going to pay close attention. The first book that I want to talk about is really a series of books, and it's fiction, it's fantasy. This book series is by Naomi Novik, and it's about dragons. This is the final book. I'm just about to start this book. I've read 8 other books. This book is set in a world where there are dragons. And this is set in the 19th century, right around the time of Napoleon. There's a sea captain named William Lawrence. He captures another ship. It's a French ship, and of course they take whatever they find, and they find on there a dragon egg. And in the course of what's happening, the dragon hatches. Now, in this world, dragons are trained, but they have to have a captain. They have to have like a person that they kind of imprint themselves to when they are hatched. The belief among the British, at least, is if you don't do it, then the dragon goes wild. It can be very dangerous. So what happens is there's nobody really on board who is capable, well educated enough to become an aviator. That's what they're called when you fly on dragons. And so the captain ends up being the one who takes on the dragon. The dragon's name is Temeraire, and it becomes this really interesting thing. The captain, Captain Lawrence, has to reinvent himself. You have to understand, he is a naval captain. That is what he's known. He never once expects to be an aviator captain, and all of a sudden, instead of captaining a ship, he's captaining a dragon and has a whole crew that flies with him on the dragon. There are those who grew up as aviators and they're not very happy about it, and Lawrence makes some really strange decisions, and it's a different world for him. He believes it's a way to serve. It's an honor for him. It's a way to serve his country. He believes that's his responsibility. So he makes the choice and becomes the captain of a dragon. Now, the whole series follows the Napoleonic Wars. It does drift after the first 2 books from true history, but if you are interested, you might enjoy that. And that's this League of Dragons series by Naomi Novik, and the first book is His Majesty's Dragon. Now, fantasy may not be your speed. Maybe you would rather have some fiction that's a little bit closer to reality. In that case, I have a book for you that is about recovering from a debilitating injury. Catherine Center is a novelist, and How to Walk Away is one of her latest. It is one of those books where this young woman is in a terrible accident, and she has to make some decisions about what she's going to do next. There's some recovery, there's a relationship she has to figure out, there's a different road before her. Now, this young woman is forced to do this. She doesn't have the choice. Life just presents this to her, and she has to cope with it the best she can. One of the things that she learns in the whole process is, even though you may have bad things happen to you, what can you do to help others who are even worse off than yourself? So once she starts thinking less of herself and more of others, she's able to do more and grow and really reinvent herself. And she's a different person by the end of the book. It's one of those books that's really hard to read, especially the first part of it. If you've ever had somebody who's spent a great deal in the hospital or have ever dealt with any tragic accident, it's really hard reading. I had to really skip through a lot. But by the time I got to the middle of the book, I had a hard time putting it down. In fact, I'm trying to do better on my sleep, and I think I stayed up a little bit later than I should have on this one. I do highly recommend it. It's How to Walk Away. The last book is by Dan Harris, and Dan Harris is a correspondent, I believe it's for ABC, and he had an anxiety attack on air because he was trying to be a perfectionist and do too much and also self-medicate. So he discovered meditation. Now, it was a struggle for him. He was not a natural meditator, but one of the things you learn in the book is that how meditation can be beneficial beneficial, and anybody can do it. It doesn't have to be a religious experience. And so the book is 10% Happier. It's by Dan Harris. I have read and studied online how meditation is so helpful for us in terms of our health, mental and physical, and even spiritual health. It doesn't have to be a religious experience. You don't have to be a Hindu. You don't have to take yoga. In fact, I'm not a big yoga person. I tried it 10 years ago. It was not for me. I do karate. One of the things that meditation can do is to help you learn to breathe and to still your mind. That's one of the things that Dan Harris had a hard time with, is his mind was going a million miles an hour, and meditation simply slows you down and just helps your brain to sort of rest and recuperate, and you find yourself a lot more able to concentrate and to be present in the moment rather than in 5 different directions. I hope that one of these books, or maybe all 3 of them, will be helpful for you and considering reinventing yourself. The 3 things that I've learned from these books are, number 1, is sometimes you have to make a choice in order to stand up to your ideals and your core values. The second thing is, often in life, in order to be true to yourself, you have to think about others who are not as well off as you are, even though you might think you're not very well off. And the third thing is, meditation can be a really good thing to do. Maybe it'll make you 10% happier, or maybe it will just calm you down in whatever situation you're in. My name is Amelia Sims. This is Reinventing You. Please share this URL with somebody that you can today, and I really would appreciate that. I will see you on the next video. Have a great one.